leave a message after the tone. Sorry we missed you. We are trying to reach you with important information regarding your student loan. Please call us back at 1-800-635-3.
Let's pause. Your name is?
Timothy.
Timothy Kyle Wyatt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how do you, I'm interviewing people about the school. How do you like it here?
It's alright.
Yeah. You're a commuter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they say a lot of things about commuters is, the thing is, they have a hard time connecting with people. Do you feel the same?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a commuter as well, so I can understand. I don't really have any friends here, so...
Yeah, I don't know anybody
Yeah.
at all.
How do you feel about the film project that we're doing right now? We only have 15 minutes left to go to do the rest of this film. We're not going to get done, you know that, right?
We still have 2 people, yeah.
Yeah. We got to be fast. Well, we should probably get started on that. Thanks for your time. And, damn it.
I wonder who wins tonight. If Kentucky won their championship tonight. That's how I can tell. So what clip did you have to do?
You excited about tonight?
You know I am, because for the first time tonight marks the first time in 14 years that we have been to a Final Four championship game, and I'm really excited about that.
You feel like it's our year? Just have that feeling it's our year?
Well, yes and no. Yes, because you know we are 37-2. We have been the number 1 ranked team in the country for pretty much most of the year. However, I have my doubts. I just wonder, can they do it? Can they win the big one?
I think they can. What do you want to leave with? What's the last thing you have to say?
Tonight, a dynasty returns to their prominence.
Go Cats.
Don't come in here! No, don't come in, it's a mess! I said get out! What?
We want to interview you.
An interview?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, yeah, what do you want to talk about?
What did you think about our video project last week?
The video project last week?
Yeah.
We had the swords, we fought each other, that was great. That was great, man.
What do you think we got on the overall grade for that?
A. A minus.
Have you checked your email to confirm that?
I just did. I checked my email in the class. It said A minus. It was the best grade I've ever had. See, it says it. It's great.
Alright.
You see this? The A minus. It's great. It's fantastic.
Thank you for your time and sorry for the disturbance.
No problem, man. I'm gonna get back to my business, or I'm not even half done. All right. See ya. Take care. Go Cats.
Okay, now that the awkward nervousness is over, after we take you for a minute and 30 seconds doing whatever your daily job is. Okay.
That's basically it now.
That's your daily job.
I do a lot of actually interaction with people, but
We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so what's your hometown and, no, look at that way.
okay.
Look at that way. What's your hometown and describe that?
I'm from Eubank, Kentucky, which is a small town in Pulaski County. It's right outside Somerset, Kentucky. There's not a lot there. There's banks, restaurants, kind of typical southeastern Kentucky town. It is a lake community, so a lot of people from out of town come during the summers, those kind of things. We double in population essentially in the summer, but you know, it's not a huge place. So everybody kind of knows everybody, you know, typical southeastern Kentucky.
How did you get to Cumberland's?
When I was in high school, me and all my friends had it planned out that we were going to escape the small city life of Kentucky and go to Lexington, go to UK, do the whole, you know, explore the world thing and have all these opportunities. And, you know, I went and visited and just, you know, wasn't for me. I decided I didn't like the big school atmosphere, that it was a small school, what I was looking for. And a friend of mine was visiting Cumberland and asked me to come with him, and so I decided to come visit Cumberland's, and had a really good time, enjoyed my visit. Of course, way back then, it was Cumberland College, and I had a great visit, really enjoyed it, and decided that I wanted to try to go to school here, and ended up coming, and you know, was here for 4.5 years and loved it.
So what drew you there more than just the small town atmosphere? Like, what was the final thing that brought you to Cumberland's?
The biggest thing for me that that made Cumberland's my choice was that it felt like home. It was a place where I felt like I really fit in. There was always something going on. The professors cared about you. Your friends cared about you. It was a place where you were comfortable. It was a place where you felt like you had a purpose and you fit in, and you weren't just another face in the crowd. You know, the whole feeling when I visited the larger school was that I felt like the person in the middle of a music video where everything was just going a million miles an hour around you, and you know, everything was a blur, and you were just kind of standing in the middle. And that's the way I felt there. And so here I felt like I belonged, I felt like I fit in, felt like I was an actual person.
So how was your experience at Cumberland's?
I loved it here. Cumberland's, I was involved in everything from campus ministries to campus activity board, student government, adventure club, ultimate frisbee, played JV basketball. I walked on the varsity golf team, played golf for a couple of years here. So I was always doing something, always going somewhere. So I mean, you know, I stayed so busy as a student with student life. You know, just had a great time. You know, so.
What made you want to stay?
What made me want to stay at Cumberland's was that, you know, after my first year here, got off to a little bit of a rocky start, and you know, academically wasn't doing great, but you know, the friends that I made here and the connections that I made with my professors especially, I knew that my professors cared about me, that they wanted me to succeed and they wanted to see me do well, because they didn't just let me fall by the wayside. You know, as I was slipping academically, they were trying to pick me up and encourage me along and push me to do better. And my friends were doing the same. You know, my friends were doing well, my friends were succeeding, and they were helping bring me along. And you know, as they were getting involved in things, I was getting involved in things, and you know, just I found a place where I fit, and that's what kept me here.
What is your job here at Cumberland's? Like, what's your official title?
My official job title here at University of the Cumberlands is I'm an admissions counselor, and my duties as an admissions counselor is to work with students on an individual basis as they apply to the university for admission, to work with them throughout the process, to see if Cumberland's is a good fit for them. I work with them on all aspects of the university, from admissions requirements to financial aid, the social life here, and what I want for them is for each individual student to find whether or not this is a good fit for them for 4 years, a place where they're going to be happy academically, socially, and make sure it's a good fit for them.
So give us a little rundown of your day-to-day activities of what you do.
My day-to-day activities, a lot of times, you know, I come in the office in the morning, you know, answer emails, you know, download reports and spreadsheets, those kind of things, all the boring stuff. Typically, you know, mid-morning or early afternoon, a lot of families visit campus to see if they like it, and so I spend a lot of times working with families, talking to parents and individual students throughout the day, taking them around campus, introducing them to people. Then in the evenings, a lot of times, we have periods where we call students, and so I'll be on the phone a lot of times talking to students about their applications, transcripts, financial aid, those kind of things. So that pretty much takes you through my day to day. Throughout the year, there's different periods of time as well where we're not even in the office. We're on the road traveling all across the state to different parts. I'm primarily responsible for Eastern Kentucky students this year. So I travel Eastern Kentucky visiting high schools, sitting down with guidance counselors, going to college fairs, and just talking to people all throughout the state. So there'll be some days and even weeks where I'm not even in the office. I spend all my time on the road and in other parts of the state.
So how do you think that you personally make an impact on students' lives?
My job here, like I said, is to make sure that students understand everything about the university they need to know. And a big part of that is establishing that relationship up front and letting them know that I'm not here just to sell them a product or anything like that. That I care about them, and I care about that they're someplace where they're going to be happy for 4 years and have the same experience as I do. So I'm kind of the front door. I'm the first contact they get at that school before they meet any students, before they meet any professors. Before they get plugged in on campus, I'm their first point of contact. And so for me, it's really great to help that student make that decision. And to help guide them throughout the process and introduce them to the right people.
So you came to college early, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, talk about that a little bit.
Well, I came to college when I was 16 years old. And the reason for that being that when I was younger, I had skipped 2 grades in school, kindergarten and 3rd grade, primarily because my older brother, we were really close growing up, and I always wanted to be with him. So as he started school 2 years before me, when it was time for him to sit down and do homework at night, I didn't want to go play or watch TV. I wanted to sit down and do homework too. So everything he was learning those first 2 years, I was learning. So, starting school, kindergarten was, pretty much finished for me. So they went ahead and skipped me out of kindergarten, and, I eventually just caught up to him. And so I went to school with my brother throughout, from 4th grade on. We actually came to college together, and roomed together for our first 2 years. So, it was quite an experience.
How do you feel like? Do you regret doing that, or do you see it as something that you'll value for the rest of your life?
There are some regrets, and there's a lot of benefits as well. Socially, I didn't notice at the time, but I fit in really well with the age group because I'd been with them from such a young age. There were a lot of, I guess, physical disadvantages as everybody else was growing up, hitting growth spurts, those kind of things. I wasn't. So, I like to play sports and be athletically involved, so there was an extreme disadvantage. When I was in the 8th grade, physically I was a 6th grader. When I was in high school as a senior, physically I was a sophomore. And so, athletically there were a lot of disadvantages. I didn't get to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do with sports. And, as I caught up in college, I got to do a lot of those things, but, in high school I didn't have that opportunity. Of course, there were a lot of advantages. Of course, getting to go to college early, finish up early, kind of start life early, I guess. So, which, I guess depending on how you look at it, could be an advantage or disadvantage in itself.
How do your own experiences with college and this college in general make it easier for freshmen to relate with you and vice versa?
Repeat the question.
Okay. How do your own experiences with college, this one in particular, or in general, help students relate to you and vice versa?
Yeah, I think my experiences in college help students relate to me because they see that I'm a real person, that I was in their shoes at one point in time. It helps them envision where they could be at, and especially students that have a lot of common things, a lot of things in common with me. It helps them really connect and feel like they could see themselves in my shoes someday. That they could see themselves having a great experience here at this university as well.
Do you think the age difference matters to them? Like, because you're closer to their age, they're going to think, hey, it's not so different, or do you think that most students don't even care about it?
I think youth definitely has a benefit in this job in that students don't feel like you're their parent. They feel more like, they can connect with you because they don't feel like you're trying to boss them around or tell them what's best for them, that you're just giving them some nice friendly advice from a peer rather than superior.
So why are you leaving now? Like, why did you make the decision to leave Cumberland and join the Air Force?
It was a tough decision to make. Right out of school, I had a job as a loan officer in 2007, 2008, doing consumer lending and mortgage lending. Decided that I didn't want to make a career out of banking, just all the changes going on, the housing bubble bursting. So I came back to Cumberland's to work for a nonprofit organization and something that I enjoyed doing, and really loved my time back here. I knew coming in that this wasn't a permanent stop for me, that I wanted to go on from here and do other things. My wife and I wanted to travel. We wanted to get out of Williamsburg. We both had grown up within an hour of here our entire lives, and there's just a lot of world out there that we wanted to see, a lot of things we wanted to do, and so for us it was just a great opportunity to get out and do those things that we had kind of always dreamed of doing but didn't really have the chance to do.
How long in total, college and job, have you been at Cumberland?
I came to Cumberland in 2002 as a student. I graduated in December of 2006. And during that time span, I was still in the area working from like that 2007 to 2008. I came back here in August of 2008, so I've really been here for about 9 years now. Coming up on 10 years, and even though there was a couple years there where I was not working at the college, we lived in the community still, and we were involved with campus events and organizations, athletic events. Still knew a lot of the students, a lot of our friends were here, so we still felt like we were connected with Cumberland at that point in time too.
So Cumberland kind of feels like a second home because it's almost 10 years. How do you feel about leaving that second home? Like, is it a scary thing? Are you more excited? How do you feel about
It's
it?
definitely a scary thing because, like I said, I've been here for coming on 10 years now, and over the entire last decade, I've not known anything else. Williamsburg and Cumberland has been it for the last 10 years, and as exciting as it is to be going off doing other things, it's also a completely new experience and something that just don't know what's out there for us. And whereas we visited other places and been other places before, it's going to be different being away from friends and being away from family and being in an entirely new area and learning something for the first time.
So, as we all know, that's okay. Good.
Admissions. Hey. Okay. Do you mind giving them a visit evaluation and giving me a few minutes here? Like 5 minutes. All right, bye.
So it's perfect time. All I need is 5 minutes to finish.
Okay.
Okay, why did you choose the Air Force? Like, why didn't you go into another branch of the military?
The Air Force for me was something that you kind of always dreamed of when you were a little kid. You see the planes and you see the jets and those kind of things. So it's kind of this boyish dream of how cool it would be to fly a fighter jet, or how cool it would be to fly one of those planes or be in one of those planes. And my grandfather served in the military, and he was in the Air Force. So I kind of had that connection. And kind of growing up, my parents were always like, if you ever do decide that you want to do the military, go into the Air Force. We had family in the Air Force, and so there was a personal connection there for me with family. But I guess the boyish dream of flying the toys and getting to do the cool thing was a big thing that drew me to the Air Force.
So you're very confident about your decision. I can see that. So what makes you so sure?
The biggest thing I think for me that makes me so confident and so sure of my decision is my faith. Being a Christian. I'm going to restart that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, sorry.
Probably love editing.
Oh yeah, I gotta love the editing phase. Let me get a drink here real quick.
That's fine.
I talk a lot. I saw you going like this earlier.
No, because she was like, do you think that
He's gonna make
talk,
time.
or is it going to be awkward?
He's
And I was
gonna
like, no,
talk to me.
don't talk.
That's my job. That's what I do. Is I talk. All right, repeat the question.
Okay, what makes you so sure of your decision to join the Air Force?
The biggest thing that makes me sure of my decision to join the Air Force is my faith. My faith in God, my relationship with Him. Leaving our families isn't something that me or my wife would ever, I don't think, choose to do just on a whim. We love our families, we love this area, and like I said, it's completely out of our comfort zone. But we both kind of felt that God was calling us away from this area and calling us to something different. And when this opportunity came up, it's something we prayed about and have thought about for the last couple of years. And just to have a complete peace about it and to be really excited about it kind of lets me know that God does have a plan for me, and He's got things out there for me with this, and that this is what He wants for me.
Where are you going? Like, do you know?
I know where I'll be going for the first year and a half or so. Officer training school is at Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama. I'll spend about 13 weeks there. That's kind of a remote thing. My family can't come with me, so my wife won't be there. I'll be there by myself. After that, I will be going. My job as a combat systems officer is like navigation, working special equipment with an aircraft. So I'll actually be on the aircraft, so I have to train it as a pilot. So I'll be going to initial flight school in Pueblo, Colorado for about a month. And then I'll be going to Pensacola Naval Air Station for about a year to do my combat systems officer training.
Awesome, that's all we need. It's wrong.
Is it?
So you start whenever you're ready.
Okay. I really gotta wake up. Smile. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Do I need to repeat the question?
Only if you feel it necessary.
Okay. Well, then I'm just gonna go like you just asked it to me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. In fact, it might actually work better if you're talking to me. So it's
Okay.
more like conversational.
Okay. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, you need to just like stand over there so I'm looking that way.
I'll stand wherever. And I tell people just don't look at me.
Okay, thanks.
So how does Chris interact with the students?
You know, Chris interacts at a very personal level. Every student that comes in here, he acts like he's known them for 10 years of his life. He really brings a lot with that approach.
So how does the students receive Chris?
I think it's the same thing. They're thinking of him like, oh, here's my old buddy Chris, or here's my cousin that I've not seen in a while, and he's doing an excellent job of making them feel comfortable when they come in, and that really is what makes him very good at his job. In admissions, we try to really, I don't know what we try to do. Okay. Ask me that again.
Okay. So how did the students receive Chris?
Really the same way. They treat him like they've known him for forever. When he starts making his telephone calls, they're like, oh, Chris, yeah, I remember the time at the place where we did the thing. Most of the time it's a college fair. But they remember his name, and that's really what makes him good at his job here at admissions. So much of it is building a personal relationship with another student.
So how do you feel about Chris's decision to leave?
You know, it's bittersweet. It really is. This is a great step forward for him. This is something that he seems like he's been passionate about for a really long time. Hate to lose him, good friend, hate to lose him as a colleague. He's a good admissions counselor as well. But at the same time, I'm happy for him, proud of him for what all he has achieved so far.
So what do you think the admissions office is losing by Chris leaving?
Oh my goodness. Well, me, myself, I'm losing a friend. But they're losing, we're losing a piece of the puzzle. Probably a corner piece, if you want to talk about it in that regard. It'll be hard to find another one that's exactly like it.
So what do you think pushed him to make the decision to leave? And why do you think he chose now to leave?
Okay, let me think about that for a second.
That's okay.
What was the question again?
What pushed him to leave, and why is he leaving now?
What pushed him to leave, and why is he leaving now? I don't know. He's leaving now because they've called him up. But what pushed him to leave? Okay. Go ahead and ask me.
Okay, so what pushed him to leave, and why did he leave now?
I believe what pushed him, if I'm remembering the story correctly, a few years ago he was speaking to, I believe it was his brother-in-law, who had something to do with the Air Force and has been through the program. And it took just a little spark. I mean, Chris heard about it and he said, you know what? This is a chance for a turning of the page. This is a chance for a new beginning, a new chapter in his life, really. And he thought to himself, you know, I'm going to go ahead and pursue this, and this is going to be excellent. Why is he leaving now? I just think that admissions, actually, the lifespan of an admissions counselor is typically 3 to 5 years. I guess he's finally to that point where he started to decide to that. You all are very distracting. What's up? Oh, I was rolling there. Let's see. I know all this is being recorded. Hello. Okay.
To be fair, we just drove you from your office.
I know. Just
That's what I like.
yeah.
So you get real heartfelt answers. No preparation.
That's what we do every day. Okay, and the second part of that question, I think that's where I messed up.
Why is he leaving now?
Why is he leaving now? Well, okay, and I think he's leaving. And I think he's leaving now because it would just felt like the right time. I mean, if you want to keep it as simple as that, I just think he felt that now was the time and place of his life where it was time for a switch and a change.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very well.